My 5 month old child has just started rolling over. I had just gone for a few minutes in the kitchen, and by the time I came back, I saw him crying vigorously because he had fallen from the bed. And he's now got a tiny bump on the head on the front. Do I need to worry? So let me tell you, when kids start rolling over, when toddlers start climbing on surfaces, on stairs, they have a high chance of actually falling over and getting a bump on their head. What are the conditions in which you should not worry? Your kid, when has a fall, starts crying immediately, excessively after the fall. But within a few minutes, if your child cheers up with just a tiny little bump on his head on the front, there may not be any reason to worry. Second is, if your child again has got a bump on the forehead but starts vomiting immediately or within a few minutes of the fall, but again within after say maybe a few minutes to an hour after, he's absolutely all right, he's not vomiting at all, he's playing well, then you may not worry and keep on observing your child at home. And the third thing is, if your child has got a tiny bump on his forehead, it's actually not dangerous. But if a child has a larger bump on the side of the head or on the back of the head, then it may be dangerous. So, if your child is crying excessively, but just for a few minutes and he cheers up, if your child vomits once or twice after the fall, but afterwards he's absolutely normal and is playing all well, if your child has a bump on his forehead, a tiny bump on the front of his forehead, but otherwise the child is well, these are the signs which indicate that your child may not have suffered any head injury, internal head injury, and you may as well choose to observe the child at home for vomiting, for signs of convulsions, drowsiness, or lethargy in the next 72 hours.